Okay, time now is 1:19 p.m. 1:19 p.m. on August 30th, 29th. And I just fucking woke up. I had a really good sleep though. I think this is the first time I've naturally woken up since since like Hong Kong, you know. Um yeah, since like coming back from Kyoto. So this is really, really crazy. No, not even since coming back from Kyoto. Since before Kyoto. So this is like a very, very long overdue big sleep. I slept at 4 a.m., like 3:50, which is bad. Again, I cannot beat the curse. I'm gonna try to beat it tonight. But yeah, I had a really good sleep, and I just slept, and it's a continuous sleep until around 10 something a.m. I woke up and I thought Michaela Ash texted me. I don't know what, but I was like half dreaming, and I saw on the wall over there, there's a giant like glowing board. There's a giant sign, like an electronic board that has like text messages, and it's Michaela Ash asking me um, if I can go to the Biodome live rope today, which I have no idea where that is. And it's like an event, and I have to be there, and it's related to the short film or something. And um, yeah. And then I actually woke up and checked the text, and she did text me, and she just asked me what's my availability tomorrow, like Saturday. So yeah, there's that. Um, And then I went back to bed, and then I just woke up at 1, and I'm like, fuck. Damn, that's a lot of sleep. So yeah, today's a chill day. Um, yeah. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go to the gym and hit the Trader Joe's again. I think I'm gonna be writing a lot of emails as well to the OIS, to the internship person in SCA. Um, yeah, and apparently a spot open for the art class, but it's kind of ironic because right now the art class is already happening. So I don't even know. And then the IMAX class, I emailed the TA yesterday saying that I got in, and the TA was like, "Congratulations for getting in." Um, Even though I dropped it. So, yeah, it's fucking complicated. Also, if I had gotten into the IMAX class, it would have been tough anyways because I have to be absent on one of the Mondays because one of the Monday nights I have to be at the Swans concert, and I forgot about that. But I think yeah, I think yeah, and then Jayan last night at 2:30 a.m. Jayan was like, "Oh my God, sorry," because Jayan last night was helping a friend move gear, and then they just started talking for like 2 hours. Um, and I was like, okay, we can talk tomorrow. And then Jiren, like just now, was like, oh, I'm working on like 4 pitch decks for a feature film, for feature films for a class, and then I'm also working for on this pitch deck for another short film that I'm trying to direct. And it's like she's so busy, she's so accomplished. Like again, she's crazy for being so like accomplished. She's applying for internships, she's doing this, she's doing that. So I want to also begin working on like applying for internships. Even though I think for me, if I apply for internships, it's for shits and giggles because I don't really need them anyways, right? Um, I don't think Giant really needs them too, anyways. I think she just wants them because it's like a power move, but like, it's not really that necessary. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, Giant's busy doing all these pitches, and I'm just chilling in my apartment, just doing nothing. And yeah, hopefully I find my rice cooker today. Yeah. Okay, time now is 12:44 after midnight, and I only have 22 minutes on my phone, so gotta be fast. Yeah, so today is a chill day, and that is good news because I very much needed this rest. Again, I realized that it's been it's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks since I've had a full night's sleep, so this is very much needed. Um, but yeah, I do feel guilty for having rested a lot. It's probably not a great idea considering how much I actually need to do. But yeah, I chilled. I filmed a review finally, and then halfway through filming it, I realized I don't want to review it. So yeah, I'm really losing passion for making reviews. I really am, which is good. About time to quit. Another thing is, so when I woke up, I checked my notifications, and a bunch of things are happening. I got an email at 10 a.m., but I was fucking asleep. I got an email at 10 a.m. saying that a spot is open for my art class, for the Art 207A. And in my head, I'm like, fuck, well, I'm not going to that class today, because today that class is at noon, and I woke up at 1:20 p.m. So, um, yeah, um, did not go to that class, obviously. But I was like, maybe I should still take it. Maybe I should join in week 2. So I enrolled into it. So I got in. And that schedule is pretty much set. This means I'm taking 6 classes this semester, but it only adds up to 14 units. And again, it's pretty low effort. I think both my film classes are pretty low effort. And I think the most effort requiring class is like the PD class and the art class, which is good. I need training on both things. And then yeah, I spent the afternoon not doing much, and once again, I don't know why, but I don't have enough food. For lunch, I ate a frozen casserole. It's 360 calories. It's like nothing, and um, yeah, and then I began to feel like shit again. I think it's just like first week melancholy. It's just, I think if nothing's happening to me, then I will default to feeling like shit. I feel kind of stressed. I feel kind of um, depressed about my future. And yeah, especially Jayun. Jayun still adamantly texts me every single day, which I'm really happy about because that's what I that's what made me so frustrated last semester is that she's not texting me enough, and now she's texting me every day. So I mean, that's nice. I just don't know if Jiren does that to everyone or not. I think she does, but yeah, that's how good her networking game is. I get the feeling that I'm not even in her top 10, which makes sense though. I'm more on that later. But Jiren, right off the bat in the morning, told me that she's working on 4 feature films, like film scripts for a class, plus working on a pitch deck for another film called Eulogy, because somebody asked her to direct it. And it's like again, she's a 19-year-old girl and she's so accomplished and everyone's asking her for her help and she's busy and I'm not. I'm just spending a whole day here and I felt very bad and it almost brings me back to Natalie where I guess during forms 5 and even 6, Natalie would be, she has places to go, she has people to meet, she has her boyfriends and being like close to her while seeing her do all these things make me feel very bad about myself. But I think right now I'm beginning to sort of have a better outlook on this, so more on that later. Anyways, went to the gym. It was very simple because I went to the gym for like half an hour and then at 8:30 I'm like gotta go to Trader Joe's because it closes at 9. So I went to Trader Joe's, bought a bunch of stuff, came back home, and that's pretty much it. And I found my rice cooker before I left to gym. I found it. It's in one of the cabinets at the kitchen, so it's not under my bed. So that's a big stone lifted from my heart. I almost had to buy a rice cooker on Amazon. And then I'm also excited to go to Cal State Dominguez Hills tomorrow for HKOS Film Festival. No one's gonna show up, but I'm gonna enjoy. For some reason, being able to get out of the USC area is like a relief. Because if I don't go with HKOS tomorrow, I would be playing go-kart with a bunch of film production majors, like with Michaela Ash and Jiang, etc. And I don't want to do that. I'm scared of that, low-key. So it's a relief. So tomorrow I'm waking up a little early, heading over to Dominguez Hills. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, I guess that's mostly it. I've been very hyped for No Other Choice the whole day today because it got premiered in Venice. I guess, yeah, let's talk about Jiren a little bit. She's so. I feel like, there were multiple points in my life in the last few years where I'm like, what if I get so good at socializing with people that suddenly getting a girl is easy and it ruined the fun, or not the fun, but it makes me feel stupid because if you try something really hard and you can't get it and suddenly you can get it really easily, it's like, well, what the fuck, it's that easy. Suddenly it doesn't feel like it's worth it. Joke's on me because nothing is easy. And so in some ways I'm glad that I'm having such a difficult fucking time with this girl again. But I think maybe it's healthy to have a difficult time. It's not meant to be easy. But yeah, again, like Jiren talking about meeting this guy, Jiren talking about her ex, Jiren talking about being busy, and this morning Jiren was like, oh, my other friend, Colin, not CK, the weird guy Colin, her friend Colin. She has multiple Colin friends. Colin with 2 L's is taking her out for dinner, and I'm like, oh, all these men are howling over her. She's a very popular girl. She's extremely popular. It's horrifying, actually. She's actually menacing. But I do want to say, even though it's frustrating, if I take a step back and look at, if I'm not Enoch and I'm looking at my situation from another point of view, I met Jiren last November, which is, like a while ago, but I didn't really befriend her until Rush, which is quite recent, honestly. And I think by then, Jaehyun's already friends with a bunch of these other guys. So yeah, I'm not like in her top 10. It doesn't feel like I'm in her top 10 or top 5, but that makes sense, right? Then yeah, there's the question of all these men want her and she probably doesn't like me enough. And the other thought I will have right now is if I'm worried about Jaehyun liking other men, liking other boys over me, then this means I don't have enough trust in her. And she doesn't have enough trust in me, which is why we need to meet up and talk. And no, we're not gonna just talk about like silly things. Like I'm gonna have a real talk with her. I'm gonna tell her about what happened to me, my origin story, her origin story. I'm gonna hear her story, and I want to know her thoughts about me, and I want her to know my thoughts about her. Because that's the only way that we can establish some kind of trust. And then by then, I will be able to judge, and I won't be as, I guess, anxious about what she thinks of me. Like with Michelle, for instance, I'm never worried, even though like she's just a friend, but I'm never that worried like, ooh, she hates me now, because I just know who she is and she knows who I am, and you know, I think it's impossible for us to dislike each other at this point. So yeah. And before I went to the gym, Jaehyun texted me like, "What are you doing tonight?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I'm going to the gym." And a small part of me thought that Jaehyun wants to like immediately hang out with me, but not. And Jaehyun called me last night. She didn't even call me for a reason. She called me for no reason. I asked her, "What Blu-ray were you talking about yesterday?" And Jaehyun was like, "Did I mention a Blu-ray?" Nah, I probably just said that because I wanted to say hi to you. She just wants to say hi. And that's fucking sweet. So it's not like there's no chance, you know? She just wants to say hi. And again, she's popular. And she's well known. And she just wants to say hi. So yeah. We might be able to hang out on Sunday, but she says she's not sure yet, but I do really want to see her, and I do want to have a big talk with her on Sunday. Again, I think give in to the chaos. Like, yes, it's going to be rough. It's going to be a bit of a guessing game, but this is chaos, and it's bound to happen, so not much I can do. Okay, time now is 10:30 a.m. in the morning on August 31st. Yeah, I slept from 4:20 to 10:15, and I'm like, fuck it, so went back to bed for 15 more minutes. I know I said yesterday I was gonna sleep earlier. Well, that did not work out. Yesterday was insanely unproductive. I did not finish anything. I did not finish the film. I did not edit too much. I don't know why. Yesterday just did not happen, I guess. Oh my god. And I can't do that because USC is keeping me busy. I have to do things. So yeah. So I'm waking up a little early today so that I can finish Secrets and Lies and also finish editing the Deftones album review. And then at 1:30 p.m. Someone's gonna drive me to Dominguez Hills for the HKOS Film Festival, which I'm looking forward, honestly. And that's today. And tomorrow, Sunday, should be free-ish. Hopefully Jaehyun's free. I really want to see her. And again, like if I see her in person, I'm gonna try to advance the progression a little bit. I'm gonna try to advance. So, her friend, Colin with the two L's, asked her out for dinner. Turns out it's because Colin wanted her to write him a script. For a film. Which, again, it's like, I don't know, man. I like directing my own writing, you know? But yeah. So, nothing. It's not like someone's asking Giant out or anything, but who knows? But yeah. Giant called me for like 10 minutes maybe last night because her roommate, another person who's literally in the same room as she is, brought her boyfriend over and kicked Giant out. So Giant has nowhere to sleep. So Giant went to her friend Sundiata's room, which is also in Century. And so literally at 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m., literally, Giant was in the middle of the USC village alone, calling me and walking very fast back to Century. And then she grabbed her stuff and then moved so that she could stay overnight at her friend's place. Giant's life is so eventful. Like, so much stuff happens in her life just within one short week. So much insane shit happens. It's crazy. That's what happens, I guess, when you're in the middle of it all, when you're so popular and, you know. But yeah, I'm so tired. I have to go to bed early tonight, I swear. I think it was a little impossible last night for me to sleep early anyways, because I had a good sleep. And I woke up randomly at around 5-ish, and I saw my room lighting up. And I woke up around 9 something, naturally, and I'm like, it's not time yet. So yeah, my sleep is a little fucked. But yeah, gotta go to bed early. 4:20, Jesus. That's like I never changed.
It is super funny, super entertaining. You're all gonna love it. We're gonna start that in 5 minutes, so if you need to use the restroom, feel free to do that, and then we'll get ready.
顧問啊，在美港人啊，屌永遠都係麥姓業內人士，屌你業內人士。
So we'll start with Christy first for Chicago Cafe. Hello. Hi. Yes. Tell us the origins and the genesis of the project.
Okay, time now is 1:09 a.m. It's kind of late. I want to go to bed. Yeah. Today is a nice break from the USC madness that I have been served for the last few days. I didn't have a lot of time after I wake up. I didn't have a lot of time after I return. I basically left at around 1:30. Someone from HKOS. I'm not sure if I should even use their real name. So I'm just gonna say V and CY. V was driving the car and CY was there, and I got in and she drove us to Cal State Dominguez Hills. And yeah, it's just a simple trip to Dominguez Hills, but leaving the university area is huge relief. Like, so nice. I arrived and yeah, and it was 2:15. The screening started at 2:30, and I saw Kay, the founder, and talking to this man, and this man speaks Cantonese. He's obviously a Hong Konger. Turns out he's Frank Zheng, who is a name that I've seen in. Michelle's texting me. Who's a name I've seen many times on my Hong Kong film Blu-rays. So, even though I've never really heard his commentary before, but it was still fun. It's still nice to see him. So Kay introduced me to him, and a little bit later we actually had dinner together. I sat across him and I talked to him a lot about films and stuff. So again, just impressing people whenever I can, you know. So yeah, there's that. So I I went through the whole screening, and before the screening started, Kay was like, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna be the moderator. You're gonna do a Q&A." And I'm like, "What?" Like, I did not plan for it. I wanted to show up today just to show up. And I ended up not doing it. So there were a couple of guys. One of them is Wasian, like maybe half Japanese, and the other guy is also half Asian, maybe Pacific Islander, maybe Blasian. I can't tell, but they're both. They are Hong Kong Cinema Club. They are an extremely newly formed club that consists of 2 people that's responsible for screening Hong Kong films in Eastwood Theater every single month. And so I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you. And he's like, "You study here?" And I'm like, "No, I study in USC." And they're like, "Oh, one of our followers is USC." And I'm like, "That's probably me." So we talked a little bit, and they were like, "Oh, we're planning to do a horror film next month." I mean, it's I'm not going to tell you now, but you know, it's like 40th anniversary. So I'm like, 40th anniversary, it's 2025, so 1985, Mr. Vampire, and they're like, "Oh, so you know your shit." So I'm like, "Yeah, I know, like, come on." So yeah, so we did the screenings, and throughout the entire screening, I was just trying to think of questions to ask to the people who did their shorts. And honestly, the shorts are meh. The first short is a mini documentary about a cafe owner, which is about like Hong Kong diaspora. The second short is like a comedy horror short about an old man who hears weird noises whenever he tries to sleep. I saw that short already on Film Freeway, but not a big fan, but whatever. Saw it. And the director's here. The director for both these films are here. And then third short is John L. Short, and he showed up on Zoom. And then consecutively we watched like a 1.5 hour long documentary called Enter the Clones of Bruce, and we have Frank Zheng, who's the producer of this documentary, and it's about Bruceploitation, like films where people imitate Bruce Lee, and a whole universe, a whole multiverse of these films. Because so many people are imitating Bruce Lee, and it was hilarious, but I also can't help but fall asleep at a few moments. But anyways, there's that. After that, there's a Q&A, and I thought I would have to go out. Turns out the 2 guys from the Hong Kong Cinema Club went out and talked, so I didn't do the Q&A at all. And but I did ask a question at the end. I asked them like, so all three short films are about inheriting Hong Kong culture. What do you guys think about, you know, inheriting culture? And they all, like, I spoke English very well, but obviously all three, like John L and the two other directors, they all speak Cantonese, so it was kind of awkward. But yeah, you know, that's that. And it was nice. And then after the screenings, I talked to people. I saw Hong as well, which is nice. And I talked to this guy, Raymond Ma, who is in Lethal Weapons 4. He's also a character in Shang-Chi. And I was like, hey, if I need a short film, I'm just gonna find you on Facebook. So, we'll see. And then, yeah, and then I also talked to Hong and just other people in general. I was wearing a Cannes t-shirt, so it's obvious that I went to Cannes. So like the people at the Hong Kong Cinema Club asked me about it, and then Frank Zheng asked me about it later. So yeah, I got to show off. But yeah. Oh, my arms are a little sore, which is great. That's what I need. Yeah, but yeah, and then we all went out for dinner. So the original plan is I go home and I make curry chicken. That was not the plan. So my chicken is still in there. It's been a whole week. So yeah, so I'm definitely gonna make curry chicken tomorrow night. But tonight we all went to this restaurant called Fei Wan in San Gabriel Valley. As it turns out, I've been there before once, like many years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, we went there and I ordered baked pork chop with rice, and sitting next to me is Hong, across me is Frank Zheng, and then his wife, and then yeah, and then I just got to talk a little bit here and there, talk about what I want to do in film, talk about like just mentioning films in general. I'm very knowledgeable, but like it's so cool that I could meet a totally random person and they would make film references and I would know, I would understand. Like apparently Frank Zheng is trying to produce this like modern like retelling of Dragon Inn by King Hu. I've seen Dragon Inn, it's a fucking classic. So I talked about King Hu, I talked about The Touch of Zen, and then yeah. So there's that. So that was really nice. And I don't know why, I feel like maybe it's because I'm getting better and better at socializing with people, but I just feel more and more comfortable around people, even though Frank Zheng is a stranger, and like some people in HKOS aren't even that close to me, but I'm like nice, you know, and I just talk a little bit more freely. I think every single year I'm getting better and better at socializing. So yeah. So somebody drove me home. S drove me home. And we had a good talk about, you know, my career, what I want to do after I graduate, etc. Which is, by the way, in dire straits. I talked to my mom last night. I said there's a chance I will be applying for grad school. Dire straits. Like, which is bad. I don't want to get into grad school. It's stupid, but I may have no choice. Anyways, I got home and I went to the bathroom, took a shower, and Jian was like, oh, the whole day I didn't really talk to Jian that much. And then I told her, oh, I just watched this film called Secrets and Lies and it's great. And Jian's like, oh, I'm with a bunch of guys right now. I'm hanging out with my high school friends and it's just a bunch of guys. And I'm like, cool. And then a little bit later, she's like, I'm gonna hop on an Uber. Can you call me? And I'm like, okay, but I can't call now because I'm in the bathroom. So I took a shower, I went out, and I called her, and she's like, I'm still at the dinner. And I'm like, okay. And then half an hour later, she calls me. Or like more than half an hour, I don't know. And we had like a 10-minute call on the Uber. And she says she's a little drunk, and it was a little flirty. I don't even know how you would describe flirty. But it was a little flirty, and you know, I'm teasing her a little bit, she's teasing me a little bit. And then she said, oh, I'm meeting this other guy named Chris, and I'm taking a cigarette from him. like she said Shaolin, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And she's like, it's a cigarette. And I'm like, oh. And then she told me what she did all day. She woke up at Sundiata's apartment. And the moment she woke up, Sundiata pitched her a film. Because Sundiata wants to, because Giant has a lot of connections, like a lot of connections with this music person, a lot of connections with like locations, and Sundiata's like, why don't you just be the producer? And she's like, oh my god. So again, like, Giant's so fucking accomplished. Like, a person asked her to produce something like today, and then somebody asked her to write something today, and then somebody asked her to, she hung out with 3 other girls, including Madison, at West Hollywood and had ice cream, and she was very sleep deprived, and she was very dehydrated, and she almost fainted. And then Colin, her friend Colin with 2 L's, suddenly DM'd her asking her for help, so she went to Colin's place and helped write a film for him. And then suddenly her high school friends were like, oh, we're coming to USC now, can you see us now? And she's like, oh, fine. And so she hung out with her high school friends, and turns out they're all men. 4 dudes plus a dude's older brother, who kept forcing her to drink alcohol, which is why she's drunk. And then that older brother guy asked her to come to his place, and she's like, hell no. So she took an Uber and went back to her place, but right before she picked up a cigarette. So she meets like 10,000 people in a day. Which is just extraordinary. I can't do that. I think the most I've done is like 3 groups of people in a day. But I don't think, like, this is just very extreme. So yeah, and again, she's so accomplished, I can't help but be jealous sometimes. But she does have the connections. I do know one Chinese restaurant, though. Don't fuck with me. I know a Chinese restaurant I can film at. Don't fuck with me. But she knows much more. But what comes next is very magical, because she went back to her room and she started like to fall asleep, and she's kind of drunk and she's half asleep, and she started like hushing her voice, and it's buttery smooth. She said words like type shit and serve, cunt, slay, and I'm like, do you actually talk like that? Do you act like this the whole time? Because somebody told her you're like a valley girl, and that's an insult. She's from fucking Shanghai. She's a Pudong girl, for fuck's sakes. So yeah, and then we just talked, and I realized that she's beginning to be more and more quiet, and she's being more and more intimate, and she suddenly started bringing up the night we met in Hong Kong. I think she said, I wish we had more time in Hong Kong. And that hit my heart, because I think so too. I wanna be with her in Hong Kong. And I was like, yeah. And I said I wanted to walk with her. I want to walk with her beside the sea and talk to her. And she's like, why didn't you say so? And I said, well, because you said you needed to go. And she's like, yeah, I needed to go. And then she started to be more and more quiet, and I started yapping, and I realized that this is the right moment for me to say some really philosophical or intimate thing. It's like the perfect moment, but I can't think of anything too philosophical or intimate. So I basically talked about how LA and Hong Kong are basically 2 universes, and some people try to see me here and they can't, some people try to see me there and they can't. And then she's just dead quiet. And then so she called me on phone instead of WeChat, and it turns out she's not asleep yet. So she's like, oh, sorry, connection. So thankfully I didn't say anything too outrageous because she was still wide awake at that point. And then she asked me, so did you see me? As in metaphorically or allegorically, like, did she successfully pass through that barrier between the two universes? And I said, well, were you there? She's like, yeah. And I was like, well, then you're there. Even though Zara was the one who broke the barrier, and Potter too, but but also Jayun. She started like thinking about random things. She suddenly started thinking about the film pitch that she was going to pitch on Monday. She's like, oh, I need to work hard for this pitch. And I'm like, man, don't think about a pitch. You just hung out with a bunch of people. It's like 12 at midnight and you're still thinking about this. Don't. And a little later, she started thinking about the ISS space station that we're going to build for her short film Starman. And I'm like, again, don't think about those things. And for a moment, I became almost a therapist to her. I was like, hey, I know you really care about your success. I know you care about your connections. I know you care about being achievements and letting others know that you've achieved things. And I know that's what gives you life. But that's also what takes life away from you. It's going to consume you. It's a sickness. It's a healthy sickness if it's moderate, but it can also be very unhealthy. And in that moment, it's like I saw right through her. I know her for who she is, down to the core. Almost. I don't really know if I really know her, but that's as much as I know. And I just told her. And even her telling me about how some guy thinks she's a Valley girl. Or has the vibe of a Valley girl. And I'm like, is that really that important? And she's like, yes, it's very important. And I was like, are other people's perceptions of you that important? Again, she really cares. Almost to a scary degree, because I hate to admit it, but she affects me too. I see her really looking beautiful and being successful. I want to look beautiful and be successful too. And now I feel stressed because I want to be beautiful and successful. But sometimes when you try so hard to be beautiful and successful, you're going to destroy yourself because you don't have time to enjoy your own life and enjoy just being yourself. And I feel like this is self-destruction. That's when it really clicked for me. What's the difference between a film treatment and a cigarette? What's the difference between a film project and alcohol? What's the difference between an internship application and drugs? They're all self-destructive anyways. She tried to kill herself. She slits her wrists. She has arguments with her parents. But now she's found a will to live. And crossed the Pacific Ocean, came here to start a new life. And she's trying so hard to be the most amazing girl ever. And I get it. She's doing all this to compensate for the lack of a will to live that she used to have. So she goes the complete opposite way to compensate. But I think that's great. And it's probably not very healthy, but I have the same mentality. But what I'll say though is don't overdo it, because you're just destroying yourself in another way. So I told her all that, and for one of the rare moments where I actually feel about 50 times more mature than her, even though she's done way more than me. But at this moment, I felt I feel like I saw her, you know? And I even told her, like, we need to finish the talk that we haven't finished. And she's like, okay, I'll let you know. But yeah, a little bit before I did all that talking, she was like, Enoch, you're the least evil person I know. And I'm like, really? Is that a good thing? And she's like, yeah, it's a good thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like not evil, but that almost makes me feel like a weak, soft guy. I'm soft, but I hope I'm also quirky and weird and disturbing. Like, I hope I'm also, like, weird. But maybe to her it's a good thing. Maybe she likes someone who is not that evil. But yeah. So, we'll meet on Monday night, probably. I kind of asked her out. Not an official date, but I asked her to come out and have dinner with me. If her maybe friend Colin can just randomly ask her out for dinner, I can do that too, right? So I'm gonna do it. So I did it. So hopefully we get to see each other on Monday. Also, Monday's Labor Day, so no classes. Et voila. So, yeah. I want to see her. I want to have a talk with her. And, I don't get to see her often, so every single time I get to see her, I need to think of it as if it's the last time. So I'll tell her everything. All I feel about her. But also slowly. Make sure it's not, like, too much. I want her to trust me, and I want to trust her. And I think that's important too, because I still don't fully trust her. What if she's Leslie 2.0? What if she's playing me all along? But I don't know. I feel like, she spoke to me in a little bit of Mandarin in the Uber about how she's drunk, etc. And I was like, okay. She asked me if she can speak in Mandarin, and I was like, 可以, like, can. And I said, 可以,我练习我的中文, like, I'm gonna practice my Chinese. And she's like, so cute, but like, so cute. And then she didn't finish it. Like, she wants to say I'm cute, but she didn't finish it. And then a little bit later, she's doing this hush voice, and oh my god, it's so sensual. And I wanted to say I love your whisper, but I couldn't say it, so I was like, you should whisper more. But before I could finish the sentence, I stopped myself. I was like, you should whisper. So yeah, I hope she feels for me the same way I feel for her, but I highly doubt it. But yeah, there is a darkness within her. She is kind of crazy, but so am I in a different way, I suppose. And I think that's good. I think when I got on, like when I was into Leslie, I thought we would be similar. I think it's good to acknowledge right off the bat that me and Jiayun are like opposites, basically. We have a lot of alarming similarities, but we're also opposites. But yeah, today is good. The battle continues. Tomorrow is rather chill. I have a call with Michaela Ash at 1, and then I'll go see Weapons by myself at 3, and then I'll have the interview with someone tomorrow night. And so be it. Okay, time now is 11 a.m. on August 31st. I slept from 3:50 to around 10:15 maybe. I just naturally woke up after that amount of time, I guess. But yeah, I can't go back to sleep because there's banging rave music above me. It's quieted down now, but it's gonna continue. Yeah. Fuck. I can't sleep early. I don't know why. But yeah, today I have a phone call, and then I'm gonna see weapons, and then I have an interview at night, and that's it. Should be chill. Shouldn't be too tough. And then Monday should be fun. I should be seeing Jiren. Last night our phone call felt really, really intimate, and I really do feel like there's something in there. Maybe Jiren doesn't really like me, but there's something in there. Yeah, the way Jiren told me that she was heads over heels for Ella, and also this other guy Chris who is in Brown University, and Jiren casually mentioning that she was in love with him, past tense. Like, yeah, just holy shit. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure if Jiren's gonna. I mean, I feel lame. The people Jiren likes are all very accomplished. But yeah, there was something there last night. There's something really intimate there. And when I tell this to Michelle, I don't tell her everything, but when I tell this to Michelle, it's almost as if it's actually happening, But I truly am not sure. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Come on. Come on.
Prop Comic of the Year, open for Gallagher, twice. You might remember his catchphrase from t-shirts and
Okay, time now is 1:14 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, I don't know why, maybe it's just sleep deprivation. I guess I just don't have enough sleep, but I'm having a bit of a headache right now, actually. And I really want to go to bed as soon as I can. Fuck these software updates. Holy shit. So today's a rather chill day, which is great. I woke up and it started off with a Zoom meeting with Jordan, this white girl. I thought it would be a phone call, but no, it's a Zoom meeting, and she basically just talked to me about PD, and she said Michaela made me construction consultant, and I'm like, what? I didn't know that. I've done a lot of construction though, but I wouldn't call myself an expert because I just put wood and wood together. So I did build a wooden sign, so that's one thing I did build from scratch. But yeah, and I'm just like, okay, and then it's funny because I feel like as a cam student I'm constantly being looked down upon, but she asked me like what year I'm in, what major, and I'm like, I'm cams, I'm a senior, but I've done like sets, I've done set dressing, I'm in a PD class, and she told me she was in the PD class last semester, and I'm like, the PD class? Like that professor? I'm taking his PD class right now. And then I told her I helped build Reese Zemeckis launch order. And she was like, oh, I see, that's interesting. I didn't know that there would be cam students doing this. So yeah, I'm a rare breed, I guess. But yeah, so there's that. We just talked about the script. Again, it's just so crazy how talented Jiayun is. I can't stress this enough, but I looked at the email that announced the finalists for 480 scripts, and there are 21 scripts. But turns out of the 21, only 4 gets chosen in one semester. 4. Which is crazy. Only 4 scripts? I did not know that. And Jiayun is one of the 4. Her script was so good. She's in the 4 out of the 90 scripts submitted. And honestly, if I submit my 480 script, if I could get in the top 21, I would already be very happy. Like, I don't need to be chosen or anything. And yeah, so, and again, people coming up to Jiayun constantly asking her to produce this, pitch that, write this for me. She's so talented. It's horrifying. It actually scares me how talented she is, how accomplished she is. So yeah. Anyways, at around 3:15 I left and I took a bus to Alamo Draft House at downtown LA, and I thought I would be late, but turns out I was pretty much on time because the ticket says 3:20 doors open, 3:50 show starts. So I thought the movie will actually start like spot on at 3:50. Turns out not true. Turns out it still has like 20 minutes of ads. So I didn't really need to rush. I watched the movie, it was fine, and then I took a bus back home. And then I had a couple of hours, so I decided to make dinner. I made curry rice with chicken, and then I did an interview with this woman called Hester Kwok, who submitted a film to the HKOS Film Festival. I did an interview with her, and it worked out well. I didn't know what great questions to ask, because it's not a very... It's a very formless film. Let's just say that it's basically a 2-hour vlog, so I don't really have a lot of profound questions to ask. But yeah, we had a conversation, and she was even really nice. You know, we're both young filmmakers. She's older than me, obviously, but she was like, hey, if you come back to Hong Kong, you can come find me. So that was nice. And then that's pretty much it. And I just kind of want to go to bed. There's this party that Asir was throwing at a house, and apparently a bunch of people showed up, like Camden and Tiger's going there, and Emma and Arjun are going there, and Garrett, I thought Garrett would go, because Garrett was like, hi, in the group chat, and then turns out Garrett was like, nah, I can't come today. And then I asked, wait, is everyone going? And then no one responded to me, of course. But yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, nor do I really care. I almost thought about, like, after I did the interview, it was like 10 something p.m. I almost thought about changing my clothes and heading over there for like 10 minutes and then coming back. And I don't mind doing something silly like that, but yeah, at the end I didn't, because I have shit to do. You know, I got videos to edit. I got things to work on, and I want to sleep early. Tomorrow should be fun. Tomorrow I'm meeting Tova to edit Film 33, which is great. Always looking forward to that. And then tomorrow night, if nothing goes wrong, I should be having dinner with Jiayun. Yeah, you know, part of me is still thinking, Jiayun told me everything that happened to her today, and she talked about how she went to have coffee with this guy Owen, and then now this other guy Christian is cooking her dinner. Like, why is she always surrounded by these guys who are dying to serve her? Like, what kind of girl is she? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, she is like this royal, like, aura farmer. Like again, like, she's already so accomplished and talented, and has like celebrity friends. Like, Ron Howard's grandson actively found her just to follow her, right? Or yeah, grandson. And like Theo Howard. And now she's like surrounded by men who are just like howling to serve her, give her food, give her things. So like when I gave her matcha and when I paid for her dinner and stuff when she came to Hong Kong, like obviously I did the right thing to do that because I think she's the guest, but it's probably not that crazy for her because men and women probably do this all the time to her anyways. Like she's being fed things and being taken care of so much, which is, again, I'm like, part of me is like, damn, I wish that's me. I wish people would love me as much as people love her, but like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of fucked up. But I mean, to take a step backwards, I think especially last week, I've been kind of stressed because Jiren is literally one of the most enterprising go-getters I've ever met in my life. And of course, if I have to compare myself with her, of course, I feel like shit. But truth be told, though, I think I'm doing better than I was doing last semester. Like, I think so far I'm doing, like, just as much. Like, I have 3 projects lined up. And then just today, Anna Iwasawa, the half Chinese, half Japanese woman, asked me to help on her 508 next Sunday, but I can't because next Sunday is my birthday. And I just want to chill. But yeah, people do ask me to do stuff. People do ask me to help out on shorts, and I'm known to some degree. And if I have something that Jiren doesn't have, is that I have a lot more connections to the grad students. Unless I'm wrong, unless Jiren pulls something crazy. But I do know a hefty amount of grad students. The ones from Cannes, and also the Chinese ones, because I always know the Chinese ones. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know, tomorrow's dinner with Jiren, again, I'm gonna try to just be honest with her. I'm gonna pretend every single time I hang out with her, I'm gonna just pretend that it's the last time, and I'm gonna try to be, I'm just gonna try to be honest. And yeah, and all the people Jiren had liked are all really accomplished, cool aura farming people, and I'm like not that. But I think it's important for me to be genuine, that's pretty much it. I accidentally spilled. I made an onion omelet, like an onion mushroom omelet thing for lunch, and then I placed a plate really close to the edge right here, and I accidentally flipped the fucking plate, and all the eggs and onions all splattered over my pants. I have new pants now, but that was unsightly. And then, yeah, I'm also thinking about jobs. Apparently the job fair already fucking happened on August 22nd. On that day I was on a plane. So I don't know. I missed a bunch of stuff by coming late. Like I probably missed a bunch of job fairs and involvement fairs, which I don't need to go to an involvement fair anymore. I'm not new. But like a job fair is still important to me, so I gotta find a way to get a job in the next 2 semesters. I really desperately need a job in the next 2 semesters. So I'm gonna ask around. I'm probably gonna ask the museums. They're kind of cool. Yeah, I just want a fucking job. Like I don't even yeah, connections are great. And, Jiren applying to internships, they're all fun. But to me, internships are like for shits and giggles. I need a job, a money-paying job on campus, first and foremost. So I'll see what I can do with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And yeah, still cooking my scripts. I should actually start writing. I should get to writing. I really should. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, this is week 1. Week 1 is over. Week 1 out of 16. yeah, kind of crazy. I think I did well on week 1 though. I think I tried my best. Like I crashed classes and I talked to a lot of people. But yeah, week 1.